Amazon buys PillPack. It finally happened. The long anticipated, is Amazon going to get into pharmacy? Will they now? Will they later? What's going to happen? Are they going to become drug distributors? That kind of stuff. The wait's over. They are buying PillPack. PillPack, for those of you who don't know, is an online pharmacy. And I've heard more than one report saying that it's licensed in all 50 states. So for those who are wondering what they would need to do to be able to, fill prescriptions in different places, they went ahead and they did something that's smarter than and I guess more time saving than other options. They're not opening their own pharmacies, I guess. They're not going to go out and try and buy, like, I don't know, Walgreens or like independent pharmacies or anything. They did something that's much more smart and much more efficient. They went out, bought an online pharmacy, licensed in 50 states, so they hit like two birds with one stone. I was playing a video earlier, and I think it may have been something like a TV show anchor on CNBC or something. I think he said something like, it may take a bit of time for this to spread for the Amazon pharmacy business after acquiring PillPack. I don't know how much time they would really need, so bear with me here. PillPack is an online pharmacy. So, and if some of you are familiar with the pharmacy business, you may already know that there are such things as central fill locations. So, for example, a Walmart may have a central fill location, which is kind of like a warehouse. Wink, wink. Does that ring a bell? Kind of like a warehouse where, prescriptions are filled and verified by a pharmacist or something. And basically all the required regulations are followed, or at least supposedly followed, and everything's done officially, kind of, and it's shipped. It's all legal, basically. It's a legal operation, and it's not a physical store like a regular Walmart where you walk into it and hand somebody a prescription, or go and physically pick up your medication. Things are filled at central fill locations. Now, at least in many cases, the medications in these locations may, for example, be sent out to Walmart stores, not mailed to the patient, but sent out, for example, via trucks to Walmart stores where these patients usually go. So, for example, if you live in Washington State and you live in Everett, and your prescription was filled at a central fill Walmart pharmacy location, a truck would take the prescription from that location to your Walmart in Everett, and the patient goes to the Walmart in Everett and picks up the prescription. So, going back to the anchor situation, I think that PillPack, or the Amazon pharmacy business now, can spread much simply. You don't need to open a store. All you really need to do, I would imagine, is potentially convert part of your Amazon fulfillment centers into central fill locations for your PillPack pharmacies. And if you need to hire a few pharmacists, I don't think that would be a big problem. And you just go ahead and start that operation. The anchor mentioned something like, we may be seeing pharmacies in Whole Foods. I don't know if that's not gonna happen or if it will. I don't know, but I don't see a necessity. I think a pharmacy in the fulfillment centers makes more sense for shipping prescriptions to patients, not for people to walk into a location and pick them up. And I think shipping would be convenient for many people. Now, somebody might come and say, well, this is not the end for retail pharmacists. This is not too much of a big deal because by law, pharmacists are still required. That's true. Legally, they are. The question is, how many? How many pharmacists do you need if you're verifying prescriptions in a central fill location, compared to the number of pharmacists that have historically been employed by a retail pharmacy in the US? Statistically, at least a while back, statistics used to say that 80% of pharmacists in the United States are employed in the retail sector, places like Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, that kind of stuff. How many people will they need? Where will all the other pharmacists go? Now, a textbook answer would be to say, Oh, there's so many venues of work for pharmacists nowadays. You have clinical practice, you have this and that, and you have retail, so you have other options. But in reality, how many open positions are there in those other positions? I think this has a potential to, at least in the future, maybe not so far future, to turn into a serious crisis for pharmacist employment in the United States in general. Now, not to say that there already isn't a problem. There is, from what I feel and from my impression, being a pharmacist myself, things are bad already in the market. But I think this has potential for perhaps putting more people out of work significantly. Not to mention the repercussions it may have on chains like CVS and Walgreens. Maybe they're going to need to close down a few stores. Maybe things will progress to farther than that, especially since their share prices for CVS and Walgreens have already dropped today. One thing that came to mind when I saw this news is there was something issued, I think, by the World Economic Forum a while back, saying like the top skills you need to succeed in the workforce in maybe around 2022 or something, something futuristic. And two of the skills that they mentioned are complex problem solving and creativity. Those are two skills that are always, or that will be in demand in the future. Now, if you really look at the way retail pharmacies practice today, complex problem solving and creativity is not part of the mix. It just rings in my ears, like when I saw the news about Amazon getting into the pharmacy business, complex problem solving and creativity came to mind, and they are what we need to do as a profession, as pharmacists, to advance. Will that mean that we will need to do different things as opposed to do things differently? Again, will that mean that we will need to do different things entirely as opposed to do things differently? I don't know, but I think that's likely. I think we're gonna see a major shift in pharmacy in the United States. I think this is going to be a major change in the history of pharmacy in the US. This is not good news for employment, but I think this will be more convenient potentially for patients as far as getting the medications delivered. The human interaction, the benefit they may get from interacting with pharmacists, it will come down to what patients choose, whether they go to Amazon's pharmacy or other pharmacies. But looking at the world and how things go today, and having practiced for years in pharmacy in the US, I can tell you that convenience is going to be the major thing for, I would think, possibly a very large number of patients and their caregivers. And I think this is going to be disastrous for other pharmacy chains, to be very frank with you. But you can't stop progress. We can't stop progress and hide behind the license. What if policies are changed? What if laws are changed in a way that does not mandate a pharmacist checking a prescription? What if technology has come to a level where a prescription can be analyzed and dispensed safely, or be blocked from dispensing because it's not safe by artificial intelligence or an algorithm or whatever, by a computer? We can't bury our heads in the sand as pharmacists. We can't do that. If that's the case, we need to be understanding that the times have changed and we need to move forward. We need to progress and change with the times. We need to adapt to survive and to remain relevant and to add value. Thanks for watching.